episode is sponsored by Outpour Strength Systems. Outpour Strength Systems is responsible for helping hundreds of people get strong, understand how to move properly, and why they should be moving that way.
Outpour also understands the power of music when it comes to training. They aim to pioneer and bring together a larger community of people, not only sharing the experience of raving, but lifting properly as well. If you're interested in learning how to move in the gym a little bit better,
Compete in powerlifting or wear the latest rave-inspired merchandise, head to outpourstrengthsystem.com and inquire with one of their coaches today. Let's go.
Alright, welcome to another episode of The Scene Down Under, brought to you by...
what is this?
Okay. Welcome to another episode of The Scene Down Under, powered by Hardstyle Australia, brought to you by your favourites TOZA and
VUKZ. How are you, bro?
Good man yourself.
Oh, it's good to be back here.
Oh man, it's good to be back in the scene down under rather than the scene up and over.
Yeah, it was a fun trip. We're back in our studio. We're a bit behind, so whatever's happened in the world of hardstyle, it's been awesome, it's been real. So yeah, pretty sick. But yeah, we're not going to get into too much because, like we said, we're a bit ahead of schedule recording this. So I'm going to pass it over to Toz.
Yeah, so today, okay, I know we say this all the time, and I know I say this all the time, but because this is a very, very, very special guest, it's like a rare Pokemon.
Yeah, this is like the Charizard that Logan Paul wears around his neck.
100%. Obviously, with the title, you already know who it is. So, this man has been doing a lot of damage worldwide.
Boosh.
Asia, Europe, America, and Australia. So, like, pretty much everywhere. He's everywhere.
Yeah, and like literally, I think he's taken over the scene in like the last 2 years.
100%,
Like just shot up. Like fucking, what's the Elton John song? Like, oh no, what's the other guy? The Prince, the Rocket guy? What does it say?
Rocket Man?
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Who's that one?
I don't know.
Alright, cool. Well, anyways,
Put it in the comments.
put it in the comments.
Yeah.
But now you've heard the voice,
Yes.
you've heard the accent.
So without further ado, LIL Texas.
LIL Texas.
I'm here down under with the boys.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Happy to be here. A little tired, a little jet lagged, a little fried, but
we pulled him out of bed. So
Yeah,
thank you for being on our podcast. Honestly, it's an honor to have someone with your
Honor's
caliber.
all mine.
No, honestly, man, like, we have a lot of guests on here, but like, it's really cool to have a big range of people. But I think having like one of the people from America, like not just another country outside of the Netherlands, but someone like from America, especially with your prestige, is like crazy.
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
especially with like we watch the growth, and obviously you're very active on social media. You do everything an artist should be doing, from music, social presence, interacting with fans. Your live streams go off on Instagram. Like it's, you know, I feel like you put a lot of effort, and it's just like not a quick 5 minutes in and out. You actually spend like an hour. Like last time when I was watching your live stream, was pretty good, man. Like you were answering a lot of questions, interacting with the fans. And that's to me, that's what an all-round artist should be doing.
Oh,
And,
yeah. You get me talking, man. I won't shut up. Little chatty Cathy.
Chatty Cathy.
That's it.
Honestly, no, I've heard that. Yeah, I haven't heard that term in a long time.
Yeah.
My girlfriend said that once or twice, but I haven't heard it in a while. It's good.
So just before we kick off the first segment, obviously, I don't think a lot of people know your name. So maybe give us a bit of
What, the real name?
the real name.
Not the
Not the
Sam. My name's Sam.
Sam.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
from Dallas, Texas.
So-
For anybody who's wondering, I actually am.
Okay.
So I was literally just about to ask. So you
I know,
are from
somebody-
Texas
yeah,
because
yeah.
you have a Californian accent. You do.
I know, and I kind of always have.
Yeah.
You know, but I can talk in a southern accent if I want to.
You just put it on just how loud.
I can do it a little bit. And sometimes when the hat comes on, like I'll ham it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why. I think my dad's from Chicago.
Oh,
my mom's from Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
They moved to Texas, and they were, you know, I was born there. But I think they canceled me out. Like, you know, my mom has a real thick southern accent, and my dad kind of has like a neutral white guy accent, like Chicago, and I think I just like somehow wound up in the middle.
Yeah.
So I've lived in Cali for like 10 years, so I think it's kind of rubbed off.
So what's your favorite state?
Texas, obviously.
Texas, 100%.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So is that where the name LIL Texas comes from?
Yeah, and it's also a play on a country band, Little Texas.
Yeah.
So there was a famous country band, like honky tonk type country, you know, Boot Scootin' Boogie, Garth Brooks, you know.
Oh, yeah, Garth Brooks. I know Garth Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks and Dunn, like
Where the
that
bodies
kind of era.
Garth.
They were called Little Texas. And so it was like a play on that, and it was like originally just like a Twitter handle that I would like tweet from, and then like I just
became a thing.
Yeah, it became a thing, and it stuck. You know.
That's cool, man.
That's alright. So that was the first and outright. That's it. Never had an alias. Never had an
No, yeah, man.
It's pretty cool.
Stuck with it, you know.
And do you feel like when you picked a name, like this is what like we speak to a lot of boys. Do you feel like when you picked a name, you're like, nah, it doesn't mean anything, but now it's got meaning behind it?
Oh man, yeah, I guess, you know. I mean, it like works for like. I mean, people think I'm a rapper, you know. They find out I'm not a rapper, and so I think that like that works also. They go, wait, he's not a rapper, and then they see it and they're like, what the fuck? What the hell is this? Like we did not expect that because you maybe you think it's like, oh, he might be an R&B singer or something.
Yeah, like
Lil
Nas
some kind of Lil something, you know? Yeah, and I'm like,
And then they hear that.
yeah, they hear the up tempo, they're like, is that even music?
It's microwave music.
Yeah, man. So it's here we are, man.
Yeah.
No turning back now.
Alright, so another question about America I'm going to ask.
Okay.
So Chicago, Arkansas, Texas, California,
Yeah.
where's the best food? Because I know Chicago has deep dish, California has a big mix, Texas has its barbecues.
Yeah,
Arkansas also, it's more southern, so they do a lot more.
Yeah, I think you gotta like it's really like regional cuisines. You know what I mean? I think like all the big cities got good food. You know, like New York, incredible restaurants, L.A., San Francisco.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as barbecue is concerned, Texas makes the best barbecue. Sorry to anybody from anywhere else. People are gonna kill me.
Memphis is going to kill you.
Yeah, Memphis. They're gonna
So while we're on the topic of like America, like obviously there's have you been?
No, it's like
so
great.
where should we start? And if we were to go to America for like a visit, what's the best place to start first? And then
Oh man, it depends on what you want. I mean, you gotta see New York City, man.
I was just about to say, I would never go to New York City.
What?
Do you know why? I want to go to the, I don't know if it's called Midwest, but I want to go to like Pennsylvania, Ohio, like all those. I want to go to all those places just for football.
Okay, yeah. If you want to see some football,
Yeah.
go to like Green Bay. You know, see.
No, I don't like Green Bay. I don't like Green Bay.
Okay.
I'm
No.
a Steelers fan, big Steelers fan.
Okay. Yeah, you can go see them. I don't know, man. New York City is just like an incredible feat of engineering. Like it's just such like a crazy modern, massive city that you kind of got to see it. But I think like you know San Francisco on the West Coast, LA, but then like man, all the you know like the Grand Canyon stuff, Utah, you know the Rocky Mountains. That stuff is like to me that's like some of the coolest stuff that you can see.
Sounds like Copa America. Like.
Yeah, and it's just so expansive, man. You know, but city-wise, you know, New York, Chicago, you know, but I don't know.
yeah, I have family in Dallas.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dallas is the capital, yeah.
No, Austin's.
Austin, yeah.
I also have some family in Houston, I think.
Yeah, Houston.
I got a friend in how do you say it, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, yeah, Boston.
No, yeah.
I lived in Boston for college.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I've been all over, man.
Wait, where'd you go to college?
I went to Berkeley College of Music.
You went to, oh, no way.
Yeah, I used to be a bass player, man. Yeah, I went to college for jazz bass, believe it or not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you
How
still
the hell did you end up to okay, we'll get to it later, but that's
Alright, let's get into like the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
segment.
Okay.
I love riffing, it's awesome. It's
Alright, so
this is the most riff.
kicking off with the first segment, we have VUKZ's special question.
Okay.
Our question, which we said we're not going to
But
mention.
are we going to word it? Okay, you cook.
No, let me cook. Alright, well, we said we're not going to answer this, but you already know where this is going. If you could remove one thing from the scene, what would it be?
Oh God. If I of the harder styles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
Sorry,
man.
that's why I said.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, that's a really hard question.
Yeah.
If I could remove, maybe okay. I think I would remove the strict like genre stages. You know, maybe like a little more split, like a little more all inclusive with the genres. Like it's like there's like a raw stage, and then there's like a Frenchcore stage, and then there's this.
You're not a fan of that?
I don't really like. I don't know, man. I feel like I see why they do it, and I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
it. Like it's cool, but what it does is it makes artists think that they can only do one thing, and that's what I worry about.
I
That
get
it pigeonholes artists, and like artists feel like they can't play other genres on the stage that they get booked on, and that like, oh, well, then what's the point of me making a Frenchcore track if I'm going to always play on the Raw stage? Like, what's the point of that? But I really want to make a Frenchcore track. You know, maybe you can play one song at the end of your Raw set or two songs or whatever. But to me, that like might prevent people from doing a little bit more of what they want, you know? Because it's set up that way. It makes people do that, maybe.
But do you think it's subjective though? Like, do you think the artists can still do whatever they want despite what stage they're playing on? Or?
Yeah, I think they can. But I think a lot of people are scared to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I don't see a lot of DJs playing like a hardstyle song on the yellow stage.
Yeah.
You know, that's a little bit extreme.
Good point,
but like, I definitely was playing a shitload of like Zog Raw stuff on the yellow.
Yeah.
You know, I started my set at 170 on the yellow,
Yeah.
and I didn't hit 190 for like 25 minutes
Yeah, that's
on yellow. I stayed like low as long as I could, man.
But,
You know, and I did the same thing at Ground Zero. I did the same thing at Dominator. So you just got these guys burning it at 220. You know, it's like, why would I start at 200? You know, like, it's like, let's take it easy there.
Yeah.
fuck man, you can, speaking about it, like that was just this year, but I remember when you got booked, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I keep getting because of COVID years. I think Thunderdome or Masters.
Yeah,
Masters was your
yeah.
first overseas booking.
Yeah, I think that was like my.
Like
Well, I
your
played
first-
Snake Pit in 2019.
Yeah.
But my first like, but that was like a little. That was just like a trial test run kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, it was Snake Pit though. I played the main stage too. But yeah, Masters was like my first like one where I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, fuck
I
man, you've
think-
done some massive stages.
Yeah, it was fun. Masters was unbelievable. Such a cool party.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. Like a guy from America.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
'Cause
fuck
we
with
were
these
talking about
stages.
this on the way here, and I was just talking to him about like his progression the past like year, let's say, and how he's touring. Like 1 week he'll be in like Asia, then he's back to Netherlands, and back to America, and then back to Netherlands, and then
Too much.
yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question. Like, obviously, now that we're on the topic now, so how do you manage such a versatile and big touring schedule? Like, because it does burn you out in a way, but like, how do you manage just staying like healthy?
Well, I don't drink or do drugs, you know, so that's like a good start there.
Yeah.
I'm in recovery, for anybody who's wondering, but you know, so I have that, and so you know, you can do this sober, by the way, guys. You know, to anybody out there who's wondering if you can or not. So that helps. It really does help, you know. But I immediately like try to get back on my like schedule and routine the minute I get back. You know, the minute I get back after the weekend, it's like, all right, get back, waking up at 9:10, get in the gym, eat right, and like stay level-headed. It's like go crazy, party hard on the weekend, be cowboy maniac man on Saturday and Friday night, and then I jump back into like work. You know, and so it's this like dichotomy, man. You know, it's a balance. It's like the crazy and the chill, and you need both. You know, you got to be balanced. You know, but next year we're gonna structure things a little differently because I'm gonna burn out if I keep doing this. So we're doing like strict blocks of USA, Europe, USA, Europe, and maybe a little bit, you know, in between. But very little. You know, so it's gonna be like June, July, August, Europe only, no US. And then. You know,
yeah, so like pretty much after EDC.
Yeah, pretty much after, exactly.
You go straight into like intense and to a decibel or something like that, and then
something like that. Yeah, we're gonna do them all, man. We're gonna do them all.
Fuck yeah.
We can see. I can see it already, like a little bit in my schedule. But yeah, I mean, like, dude, January 20th rolls around. I don't think I have a weekend off until EDC. You know. Already, it's already booked, you know.
Yeah, that's insane, man. Honestly, like,
it's
good. It's good to see that. Like we said before, to be honest, like there's no one in the US doing what you're doing right now. So like, it's obviously like congratulations for that. You deserve it, in my opinion, because you can see the type of you can see what you're doing different to everyone, and why you're succeeding compared to other people, because you are putting so much effort into your brand and music, and you're not like niching yourself out in a way. We said, you're not just straight 200 BPM plus. You're like tapping into everything.
Yeah, you got Zog, you got Lady Gaga remix.
Yeah, man. You know, I think like, you know, and I've said this so many times over the years that like I just want to be able to throw bigger hardcore parties everywhere, because there's hardcore fans in every city in the States. But the problem is that promoters are not willing to take chances on hardcore bookings because there's not a market for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if they did try to bring people in the past, the shows might have not done so well, and so hardcore has like a bad ticket history.
Yeah.
On the data, on the books.
Yeah.
And so if a promoter is going to stick his neck out and put down a couple $1,000 to bring an artist out to throw a party, he's got to know that artist, or at least know decently well, that artist is going to sell enough tickets to cover his ass, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think that I given that sort of just reality, that it's okay, I got to get as big as I possibly can get so that I can bring as many hardcore shows and make it a non-risky thing for promoters, so that we can all make money and everybody goes home happy, and nobody loses money, nobody likes to lose money, and so that we can bring hardcore to these fans in every single city, because dude, there's hardcore fans in every city. Now they might be small, but we're converting base heads, we're converting average ravers, we're bringing hardcore into a larger sphere, and we do that, I believe, through showbiz, man.
Yeah,
it's entertainment.
Yeah, and that comes to
a show.
That in my opinion comes to a strong event promoter brand and a strong artist brand coming together.
Totally.
And to create something like that, and then that's the only way that, in my opinion, it will work.
For sure.
So as long as the promoter is okay. So for example, we have promoters in Australia that have such a strong brand that it doesn't matter who they put on.
Yeah.
So everyone is not really a risk. It's just okay, we have our base following, and then anyone extra is good. And then that way, whatever artists we bring in, we're educating our masses. And tapping into a different genre. I think that's where a lot of people struggle.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's okay, I have a niche following that only likes one specific thing, and it's either that or they're not coming.
Yeah.
But then you have events that have a mass of following that goes for the brand, not for who's playing.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing is I think that's the difference. Maybe that's the difference, but I don't see that as much in the States.
Yeah.
You've got Insomniac, you've got Disco Down, you've got these big festivals, of course, where dude, they're gonna sell out no matter what.
Yeah.
But as far as the club nights are concerned throughout the cities, unless they're bottle service clubs, which I'm obviously not DJing bottle service clubs. Dubstep DJs aren't DJing bottle service clubs, by and large. So it's you've got these club nights, and you've got these cities where it's it really does fall pretty heavily on the artist, that it actually does, I think, lean on the artist a little bit. Now the promoter's got to have the capital. The capital leans on the promoter, that he's got to be able to front the money to make the show happen in the first place. He's got to put down the guarantee. But the artist has to have enough fans to sell the tickets.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so I do see that differently, where I'll come to a party here and it's going to be slammed because the party is so popular.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in plenty of other places all over the world too. And there's a bit of that in the States.
So with that, I wanted to ask you, because as you can tell, Australia's pretty big as well. It's quite few and far between. Do you reckon one thing that doesn't help the States with, especially our type of music, is the separation? Because if you have few and far in between from let's say California all the way to the eastern seaboard, so New York and all that stuff, do you reckon there is quite a large following, but they're too separated? You have maybe 100 in this state, 100 in that state, and it's too big?
Yeah, that's definitely probably a little bit part of it, you know what I mean? That things do start, I think things still, it still is things are on the coast, maybe Chicago a little bit, and then go in, trends at least, or LA is a massive EDM hub, and things kind of bud in LA and then they spread out. But there's a lot of the dubstep and experimental bass scene actually is pretty big in the Midwest, and actually is sort of outside of the big cities in a way. Lost Lands is in Ohio.
Oh, sure.
And that's the biggest dubstep festival, I think,
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio, dude.
Yeah.
And so I do think that is a bit of the issue. I just don't think there's been enough artists in the past, years that have been able to, I just don't think there's enough of it. Like, whereas like in the dubstep scene, for example,
There's so much.
There's so many artists, you know what I mean? There's so many people that are doing the same thing, and the artists are pretty few and far between in the States as well.
Yeah, but I feel like you also need to accept that the fact that, like, for example, your country or where you live is known for a specific genre, but that shouldn't turn you off from like pursuing a different like continent, or like, for example, for us, like we only have so much here in Australia, but like in the Netherlands is where like everything hardstyle is born and raised and like maturing and mature. Like you got everything there, so that's why obviously our heart is always like, okay, we want to go play in Europe, and obviously it's difficult for us because we live very far away. But for someone like from USA, I want to see from your perspective, like what do you think is the biggest genre in the USA? What are some of the difficulties that you face growing in your own country?
Well, I want to clarify one thing about my previous. There are plenty of hardcore and hardstyle artists that have been around in the States. Like, I don't want to make, because people have like,
you're the only one.
I've talked to so many people like, oh, he thinks he's the only one. I'm like, I'm not a fucking idiot, dude. Like, obviously the guys in the 90s, shout out Lenny, Omar, Rob, Delirium, all those guys, obviously DOA, fucking Delta 9, of course. Like, they're still around, they're still doing shit. You know, I was just with Lenny last week, you know, and there's plenty of artists who are doing stuff. It's just what I'm saying is compared to other genres, there are less artists. You know what I mean? So I want to make that clarification for everybody who's going to hate on me. Nonetheless, what is the biggest dance, music genre? I would say dubstep and house. House and dubstep. Definitely.
Okay.
House is big, man.
Because you got like you said, Lost Days. You got like Coachella, and like you see most of the stages like what's Marley? What's that guy's? We're watching it at Kevin's.
Mala?
Yeah, where's the mask?
Yeah, Mala. Yeah.
Like you see his he does what is it, dubstep house or
house?
trap?
Yeah, he does house.
Yeah,
bass house, I think.
Yeah, bass house and like tech house.
Yeah, you see like how big, like he packed out that whole stage at Coachella, like it's massive and stuff, and like you see like a wide variety of it. And I think because like the music that's big in America, it's like what we get everywhere, what everyone gets, like it's a bit more commercialized. So I think like they have to appeal to a wider range. So I think it is a bit softer, like in terms of you won't see someone like you headlining Coachella in terms of definitely. You're gonna get
the big guys are always going to be like leaned into the mainstream. I think you know what I mean. Like you got your John Summit, who like I like really respect that guy. Like he got a hit and like the guy has just steamrolled it into like massive success. Yeah. You know, and he's somebody I admire. I admire guys who rise to the top. You know, and I don't listen to John Summit's music, although it's very good. It's just not my thing. But John and I follow each other, and seeing his rise is something that I admire. Yeah. You know, and I like look up to somebody who can grow to that level. Like we were talking about a little in the car. You know, I respect those type of guys. But yeah, I mean, House is definitely the most like user friendly. You know, and so he in particular has also like brought it to an even bigger audience into like the frats and sororities and colleges, and so it's shifted into like house has become this kind of cool mainstream popular thing to do, and I think that's good for all electronic dance.
So speaking like about like aspiring and looking up to someone, like who does LIL TEXAS like look up to and aspire to be? Not to be really, but just like what's your benchmark?
I mean, we talked about it in the car, and I've answered this question quite a bit, but I look up to a guy like Angerfist because he's number one. That's who I want. And Headhunters. Like, I want to be like those guys. You know why? Because they're the top dogs. And I want to be a top dog. And so I should, if I want what somebody has, I should do what somebody does in my own way. You know, that like, okay, I look at a guy like Angerfist. People go, that seems odd that you're super influenced by Angerfist. You don't sound anything like him. You know, you guys seem to have sort of polar opposite brands. I feel like Angerfist is very serious, tried true hardcore, and I'm a little bit slapstick. That's probably an understatement.
It's a good.
But what does he have? An extremely strong brand. What does he do? He's constantly released music since 2005. You know, the guy's also like changed his sound and modernized his sound since then, while staying true to himself. You know, and so he's created this figure. You know, this otherworldly sort of like enigmatic being. You know, and so I look up to somebody like that, who can create like a legacy, you know, or like a guy like not EDM related at all or electronic music related or hardcore related. I look up to Miles Davis, you know, the trumpet player, the jazz trumpet player, because he.
You've lost us both, yeah.
Well, no.
Oh, you know Miles Davis?
I think so.
Sounds familiar.
Some jazz musicians ever. Nonetheless, Miles Davis was like a straight up jazz artist.
Yeah.
And like over the years changed. In the 70s he did funk, and in the 80s he did 80s stuff, and in the 90s he even like did a hip hop album before his death. And like his biggest selling record, although he was famous for jazz trumpet, wasn't in the 60s and 50s. It was in the like early 70s or late 60s, and it was like a funk avant-garde record.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Miles Davis actually sampled from like other music? Like they took his style and stuff? Because
people sample him for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know of him, but not enough. Like
you probably, if I played it for you, you'd be like, oh, that.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it's about. I think I heard a podcast and someone mentioned. I'm pretty sure it was on the topic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on the topic the other day.
Anyway, he's somebody I look up to because and the reason why is because he adapted with the times.
Yeah.
And so I look up to guys who adapt with the times. I look up to guys who create these, you know, narratives, these like worlds, these brands where there's this like iconography, you know, and I think that's a big thing. Like it's like Raise Your Fist, The Mask, you know, all these little sayings and this stuff.
Sorry,
you know?
I was just having not an epiphany, but like, take this as like a really big compliment because I hold him in such high regards, and he mentioned you a bit, but you just remind me of the American like audio freak, and it's fucking awesome, man.
We're both named Sam.
Yeah, there you go, and like, bro, like just your aura, like your vibe, like the way you speak as well, fucking just, I don't know, like while I was speaking, I was just like,
bro, we get along quite well.
Yeah. No, he talked about you very highly.
I love him.
He's a fucking awesome.
We love
but yeah, like just as you were speaking, I was like, fuck it, I feel like I'm talking to an American Sam. I am talking to an American. Fuck.
Australia reminds me more of America than any other place in the world.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Really?
How?
It just feels more similar. Like, okay, but it's like, what am I comparing it to though? It's like, okay, like, I guess like to the UK. You know, it's like, where does other like people speak English? Where do other people speak English?
Yeah.
Well, it's like the UK and Australia.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much. It's like the US isn't very much like Japan. You know, like maybe it is, but like on the surface,
we're a lot like Vietnam, man.
That's just fair. I was thinking that too. Yeah. North Vietnam. No, I'm joking. It was I don't know. There's like a laid back energy here, and it like just kind of reminds me a little bit of the States more so.
If only you knew, bro.
Yeah.
If only you knew how Sydney really is, man.
Really.
It's like honestly, like I feel like we're literally. I've started to speak like you.
You guys kind of have the same goods too.
Yeah, but if we're under the pump here, man. If you're not like, it's either you're a drop kick. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Like, okay,
drop kick. How would I say it?
shit kicker. That's another Aussie.
Maybe that's another. Yeah, we're too Australian.
Producer, do your job.
What's the term for
drop kick? Drop kick?
Like a fuck up?
Like a degenerate.
Yeah, degenerate.
Okay.
Like a DJ.
I don't know if it's degenerate or I'll just roll with it. It's like.
Yeah, it's either you're doing nothing.
Yeah, it's either you're doing nothing with your life, or you're doing
everything.
like so much to the point where like you don't have time to scratch your fucking asshole. To
Oh.
the point where like you wish there was 25 days, 8 days a week.
Oh. Okay.
That's how we're like I don't know. I'm speaking on behalf of us. Like we do so much.
Yeah.
It's like to the point where like it's a struggle sometimes to just sit down and just take a breather.
Got you.
Because you're either doing something with your life and doing so much to become something in your life, or you just like cruising through life.
Yeah. I mean, isn't everywhere like that though?
No, man.
No, really?
Because like, for example, I use it from my own experience. Like if I go to a place like Brisbane or Melbourne, you can see the difference. You can see.
Oh, you guys are talking about Sydney in specific.
We're talking about Sydney in specific.
Oh, okay. I think you're talking about Australia in general.
So Australia in general, like you can go between the states and you can see the difference between the vibe, the work ethic, the speed of like life, the way the time actually like goes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. Like for example, if I was to pick a place to live in, I'd probably live in like Brisbane.
Yeah.
Because it's so chill and like the weather's
But,
so much
like
nicer.
to us, we compare Melbourne to Europe. Because it's
Yeah.
just so like laid back, it's chill.
Yeah.
Brisbane's a bit more like party, like it's got like more summer vibes. Sydney's just like, bro.
I'm pretty sure you can
sucks.
probably relate in your own like way to like, for example, like different states have different vibes in terms of living like demand.
Yeah.
That's like, for example,
It sounds like New York or LA.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly like I was
Yeah.
literally about to say like New York or LA is you can't compare that to like I don't know what's another chill state.
Yeah, like living in Dallas or something.
Yeah. I don't know, that's just how
I get what you're saying
yeah,
now. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I want to go back to, I don't know if you wanted me to mention it, but because you mentioned it, I was like, it's perfect. You said you were in recovery, so we'll touch on that.
Yeah.
Because I remember you mentioning it, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. But also, going back to before Lil Tex, before all of this, well, what made you like go on the journey? Were you having fun at these parties and then you were getting wasted and then you're like, fuck, I want to change my life and start producing? Or were you producing like...
No, I was producing, man. Like, back in like 2012 and 2013, like I was making like trap back when that like first boom happened, you know? And like I kind of had a little like steam back then, like right when I was in college, like SoundCloud was just coming out and stuff, and I got found by like Flostradamus and like some other people, and so I went on a little tour with them back in like 2012.
As Lil Texas?
Yeah, as Lil Texas.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I played Boiler Room in 2012. I played with like Dylan.
Like the actual boiler room?
Yeah, the actual Boiler
Oh
Room.
my god.
Yeah, my crew, I had a crew of guys, and we had like, Boiler Room reached out to us, and we did Boiler Room in Los Angeles.
Fuck yeah. Nice, man.
It's still on YouTube, please don't watch it, it's really cringe.
Bro, we're watching this straight after.
No, it's so cringe, please
We're
don't watch
watching this.
But anyways, yeah, so I had like a little steam back then. And so I moved to LA out of Boston, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go I got signed, and moved to LA.
Sorry, just because I want to, like, some of our fans point out, like, geography in America. Like, Boston's a very, like, university state, so it's, like, very straight 180. And then going to LA, that would have been, like, a complete 180.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's a lot of drugs in Boston. I mean, it's party town, too. But nonetheless, I was fucking around with drugs and shit all the time.
Yeah.
But when I moved to LA is when it got bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I moved out to LA, and I started partying way too hard, man. And, like, one thing led to another, and, like, you know, with me, it's like, it just stops being a party, and it just becomes, like, me getting high.
Yeah.
You know, long story short. And people out there probably have heard a little bit about my story, but, you know, I was into the hard stuff. So I'll let you, you know, not just cocaine. The other hard drugs. And, yeah, man, I was deep, man, bad, like real bad. And so I had to go to rehab. And long story short, I did that thing, and I threw in the towel and just said, you know what, like, what I realized was, like, this isn't gonna stop, and I'm gonna be 30, 32, 34, and if I don't stop this shit, I'm gonna continue this cycle into my 30s, and so I need to just throw in the fucking towel. And so I did, and, you know, it took years and stuff, and I kept producing throughout that time, but at one point I put music down. I was telling you, I put music down for a while, and then I picked it back up and started making hardcore, and it all just clicked.
Yeah.
It's really a short version of the whole story.
Yeah.
But
it's so interesting, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's like you picked yourself up. From what I can tell from what you're saying, you picked yourself at the lowest point of your life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then now, imagine you didn't throw the towel in, like, you would have never.
Dude, it all you're absolutely, it all goes back to that, man.
100%. So you made the decision. I don't know if there was an influence of that, like, decision, but
Still takes you up,
from what I took from what you were saying, it's like you've helped yourself steer into the right direction.
Totally. I mean, my world came crashing down on me, man. Like everything, I lost everything, man. You know, it was like that, and be homeless and be like a fucking, you know.
Dropkick?
Yeah, drop.
Yeah,
for real. And like, you know, and it all goes back to that. Like, and I truly believe, dude, like that if I like used any like drugs or anything, like, yeah, I would lose everything again.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not initially, maybe not right away, but eventually.
But it leads to that part.
Yeah.
Every single time, man. And I have so much proof of it. Like, and I don't need any more proof. And I just would rather just like not try to disprove the thing that I tried to disprove and failed at miserably one more time.
It's not a hypothesis, it's a fucking fact.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I had to like test that hypothesis
so
so many fucking times, dude. And that's the problem, because I really didn't believe that it was this and that. I really didn't believe that when I like drink, I do heroin. But like, I eventually do heroin after I drink.
shit.
It all starts there, and I end up doing heroin, like
Yeah.
straight up. I'm not even joking.
So,
You know?
like during like when you said you started throwing in the towel, was music always at the back of your mind to be your escape factor?
I always wanted to be a musician, man. You know, I had the dream, like
Yeah.
a kid dream. I want to be a rock star, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was first like into punk rock and shit, so I wanted to be like a rocker, you know. And
The whole grunge. Were you into the whole grunge era?
I was like into new metal shit. I'm 34, so I was like big into like Korn and Slipknot,
Fuck yeah.
Deftones back in like '99.
Very
You know, that kind of shit. I was like in the skate park and stuff, and then I got into like punk, like The Unseen, Casualties, and Discharge, and
Evanescence.
you know, I love Evanescence, man. Great Dutch band. But yeah, so I've always had that dream, man. You know, so it was always kind of there, like, oh, I would love to do this, you know. And I chased it, and well, here we are now.
Yes, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, man. Sitting next to two idiots.
Yeah, it's
I don't know if that's your peak of your career, man. I don't know, man.
I think it's downhill, bro.
Yeah, it's just downhill for me, man.
No, this is I can feel the ramp.
We're riding off your case.
Give me the nos for the tank. Let's go to
Playing
hyperdrive.
fucking fifth gear, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Like you on the fucking drive over here.
Yeah, fuck, man.
Yeah, man.
Little
Bro,
It's crazy. He's a crazy driver, eh? Fucking hell.
I get alright.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm chill.
No, it's
Chill,
fine.
crazy driver.
That's what woke me up.
Oh, yeah. Just like, yeah, chill.
So what's it like moving on? Like, how did you go from like going trap and stuff like that? How did you decide you're like, fuck, I'm gonna play hardcore. I'm gonna fucking play everywhere. I'm gonna play overseas. Like, how do you do that? Like, what makes you think like I'm gonna be fucking big in Europe?
Oh man, it doesn't. I don't think it like happened that way. I don't think it happens that way.
Mm.
But I can tell you what happened. I told you in the car that like at one point my career wasn't going anywhere, so I put music down and I just like picked my day job.
Mm.
This is 2018. I was like, all right, I was a sales guy. I'm gonna be a sales guy. I let go of music. Let it go. I let go of the dream. And but anyways, I was going to the gym. I always loved working out, and so I was going to the gym, and I was listening to hardcore in the gym because I always liked hardcore. So I'm listening to Anger Fist, I'm listening to Tommy Knocker and Noise Suppressor and all this different stuff. I was listening to it in the gym, and like Uptempo had come out, you know, so I was listening to some Uptempo stuff, and I was like, damn man, like. I love being a sales guy, but I really need like some creative outlet. You know, I need a little creative outlet.
Expression.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to like express myself, and so I started making hardcore, man. And I still was DJing a little, even though had put the dream down. You know, I'd play some shows here and there for fun. And so I played this Wasteland in 2018, like totally randomly, and it went really well. And I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna fucking do this thing, you know. So I was playing a little bit of hardcore and hardstyle in my sets, just for fun. Because I didn't give a fuck. Like I said, I let the dream go. So whenever I would DJ, I was like, who cares what I do? Like, none of this matters. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not a DJ. I'm a sales guy. I'm doing this purely for fun. It was pure, you know? I got back to this pure place that I, like, when I was 16, just making music. There wasn't like, I gotta make it. You know, I didn't have that dream, you know, anymore. And I think out of myself, letting it go, I got to this place where I could truly write music.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing riding on it.
So when did you think that
It was 2018.
No, like this was it. Like,
What did you ask?
So when did you think that? Okay, like you've tested out hardcore, obviously. When did you think like, this is it. This is the thing. This is LIL Texas now.
Oh man.
Yeah, how do you go from like a change? Because especially in America, it's such a big scene, like the trap and bass and all that stuff.
Oops, I'm done. Your turn.
Well, that's crazy.
I just had to. It was
Still all my jokes,
Sorry,
thanks, but that's crazy.
I hang out with you every fucking
Wait,
day.
do I answer the question now?
Yeah.
No, sorry, oops. Finish my story, your turn. Go.
Man, I put out my first song. I don't know. It's all at this point. I don't even know. I put out my first song in 2018, and it did well. Because I think it was just such a shock to the American EDM scene. Because the only followers I did have, you know, at the time, were like American EDM people.
Yeah.
You know, like uptempo and hardcore people weren't following me. And so I put out a song at 200 BPM, and I was like, this song is at 200 BPM. I like made that the shtick, you know? Because I was like, nobody's ever heard of this in America. Some people have. And like, it's just gonna look crazy if I write 200 BPM, because 2 is not the number 1. There you go, boom. Like, that's like gonna be that can be branded. 200 is a cool looking number, it can be branded. And I put this song out, dude, and honestly, I think it was just luck and good timing. Like, 3 weeks later, fucking Porter Robinson was playing it in his sets.
What?
Yeah, seriously. He followed me all random, and he found it on SoundCloud. So anyways, Porter played it, and then a couple weeks after that, Skrillex and Boys Noise, when they were doing Dogblood, they played 2 of my hardcore songs, or 3 of my hardcore songs in a row. And it was a couple months later, I don't know. But they were playing my shit, Valentino Collin was playing my shit, Kill the Noise was playing my shit.
Fuck, all these names is bringing me back to why.
Because they were like, whoa, this is so crazy, like, I should play this guy's music.
Yeah, it's just that shock factor as well.
It was a shock factor.
So how did that feel? Like when you had that moment? How did
It's
that
a dream
feel?
come true, bro.
Yeah.
There's like, I've had a few of those moments, and it's like, you probably felt it, you're like kind of shaking a little bit. You can't believe it.
All obsessive.
Yeah, exactly, you can't believe it. It's true.
It's like, oh shit. Like
when Rick Owens called me, he called me like 3 or 4 months ago, FaceTimed me in the morning one day, and I had like ignored him, which was so hilarious. Long story short, Rick Owens DM'd me on his burner account on Instagram, and I didn't believe it was him. So I was like, yeah, right, this isn't Rick Owens.
I'm not gonna send you dick pics, shit.
And Rick Owens like sent me a picture. He was like, no, it's actually me. I'm listening to you in the gym right now. I love your music. And I was like, I like laughed. My manager emails me 3 days later, and he goes, did you ignore Rick Owens? And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, did you ignore Rick Owens? And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I did get a weird DM the other week. And he was like, did he type in all caps? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, was it this account? And I was like, yes. And he was like, dude, you ignored Rick Owens. And he was like, Rick Owens is going to call you. And so I like woke up, and Rick Owens FaceTimed me from his house in Paris, and he was like, hey, do you want to do the music for my next runway show? And I was like, yeah, I would love to.
Does that mean you get freebies?
Yeah, I got paid, and so I took.
No, I mean like actual clothes.
Yeah, well, they paid me and they gave me a fixed fee, so I took the store credit instead.
Oh yeah, fuck
yeah.
You got some cool swag for like someone who's got like a cowboy thing.
Yeah. So anyways, I was shaking. That was one of those moments where I was shaking. I couldn't believe that I was. Like, I just got off the phone.
You probably thought you were like...
Yeah, literally, I played it cool while I was with him, but then he like hung up and I was like, oh my god. And same thing when the Lady Gaga's team called me. Same thing when like, Porter and that shit happened to Skrillex,
and I think there's gonna be more moments of this. Like, it just doesn't end on those. Like, you like, I'll be honest, I had that moment when you followed me on Instagram.
No.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not
really
not because you're sitting here, but every time someone like huge follows me,
really,
I just go on the group chat like, boys, what the fuck?
Yeah,
is this real?
And
then obviously started with SoundCloud, because obviously that's probably how you found it. And then I saw followed me on SoundCloud, then followed me on Instagram, and then fucking played my track, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Cool, man. That's cool.
I can't say the same thing, but when I get messages, it's pretty cool too. When I get replies, it's hectic.
I don't know, man. I think like, lately I've been really diving deep on the SoundCloud, and it's really cool because like I think I caught you a little bit early. I think you had 2 tracks. You had the Heroin and Freak Show.
Yeah.
So I guess it was pretty early. So
6 months ago.
Yeah, but like to see you from 2 tracks, a guy with 2 tracks on SoundCloud. Now you got Clouds of Dark Horror and all, remixes for Rebellion. Can I announce that? Or
it's everyone knows about it.
Oh yeah, the Rebellion stuff. You're doing.
Yeah.
Man, like.
Yeah. It's just
that's crazy.
It's on.
And you know what makes me happy? You know what makes me happy is seeing that.
Yeah.
And also like getting in a little early. It's like I was there. We only had 2 songs. I got my eye on this shit.
I really appreciate it. And look, for someone in your like caliber, it's good to see that you care. Like
I do.
In terms of like just looking at younger people. I mean, I say younger as career-wise, not someone.
No, man. I'm on SoundCloud like every other day, like finding new people, and I follow them all.
Yeah.
And like, I think some of the most interesting developments that are happening in the harder styles are being made by like kids who are really young.
Yeah.
And they might not be the cleanest, and they might not be the crispiest, and it might.
But there's potential.
But there's something there that's because of it's what I was talking about a second ago. They don't have anything to worry about. They have to pass math class tomorrow.
They're talking about equal to.
Their mom is
equal to.
Yeah, exactly, like equal to.
That guy's a genius, man.
Dude,
Have you
carrying up to his fucking shoulder.
Can I? Have you worked like seen him personally?
I booked him on his first show.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
so he's played.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And the observatory. So I sold out the observatory. It's a 1,200 ticket room.
Nice.
Epic show. It was his first show.
Because I was gonna say there was like a little murmur in the scene that like he only produces, he doesn't play.
No, he had never played, and he was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah,
So
apparently he just learned how to mix too just before that, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I like called him and we talked about it. And I was like, "Sack up, brother." He was like, "What if I pre-record it?" And I was like, "No, you're not pre-recording your minutes. Fucking put your dick on the fucking table, bro. Like you can fucking do this thing."
Yeah, it's the locker room there.
And he actually watches this too because we mentioned him in that version podcast.
Yeah.
He just fucking commented.
No, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, like, bro, come on, like, never playing.
Let's switch out.
It's true. It's true. I mean, imagine imagine you never played a show and then you play in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
That's a big step.
I know
That's a
exactly
big
how
step.
it feels like. Me and equal to me and you, same, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Except you played for like 10 mil.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, you play for 12 people. It's still nerve-wracking.
My first
fucking
set.
show.
My first set was at Massive. So remember, it was the DEF CON After Party 2017, and I had 3 people. One of them was my cooked ex-friend. If you're watching this, fuck you. He was just asleep, and yeah, pretty much it was fun. It was a fun practice. Like
I played those shows too, man. Back in the day, I played that shit.
Yeah, and it's cool to see the progression from then till now. Like obviously, a lot has happened. I played a lot of gigs. Really appreciative of all of them. All of them are like equally as like special.
Yeah.
They all have like their own little goals. Yeah,
They're all
it
part of
doesn't
the
matter.
journey.
Yeah.
I was just busting his balls out. I was definitely busting Equal Two's balls
No,
out for the show. I was like, sack the fuck up, brother. You're good.
It's a locker room.
And you know what? He did fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool, and it was just like such a fun night. And like, it was really cool to like see him, who has like influenced me and helped me so much production wise.
Yeah.
To give him an opportunity to do that, you know, to be able to like put him on stage, you know, give him a little money and like whatever, you know, like that's a cool thing. It was cool to see that, you know, and so like I love staying in touch with like all of the like up and comers because it's so influential to me, and because of that, like sometimes I think when kids are younger, they're maybe not naive, but they don't like know as much as a guy who's been in the scene for 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, who's like built a career on one thing. It's like they're just doing whatever they want.
And look, I really appreciate what you just said,
Yeah.
because like we're kind of trying to do the same thing with a couple of our friends too. Like talent needs to be recognized early and needs to be appreciated and pushed the right way in order for them to progress how they should be progressing. Like for example, we got a couple of mates that we really truly believe that there will be the next 1%ers in my opinion. Like and it's not just an opinion, like I think it's a fact.
No,
like there's a lot of talent that is really overlooked, and people just like suppress it early, where like you should be pushing these people to be the best of version of, like you need to be the guy into the right direction, right? And I truly believe there's a couple of guys that are in the Aussie scene that will be
For sure.
Top dogs.
For sure, man. And I just think it's fun too. It's like fun to like, you know, just play this music and I don't know, I'm always looking for, I don't know, man, I just never want to become an old head.
Oh, dude.
I fucking hate old heads, bro. But I also love old heads because you need them in the scene.
Hey, look,
you need gatekeeping old ass motherfuckers who are like, that's not hardcore. Hardcore is a 909. And it's like, yeah, dude, we know.
Yeah.
Like, we get it.
I'm gonna go with you on this because
But you need that guy hating on uptempo.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the scene.
And
That's what makes it fun.
It's
like,
a drive too, like it's a driving factor.
Yeah.
Because you're like, it's either you go, oh fuck, well I need to change, or you're like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they're gonna hate, and that's great. Let them hate, because they have their way and I have my way.
As much as you need it, like the best thing about it is you need the two perspectives, because the gatekeepers will always try and keep traditional paths. Like they're not, the reason why young people don't go too big too quickly in like your euphoric, your hardstyle, your stuff, like just basic like hardstyle, is because they try and follow like a pattern or a system, and they compare them to older artists, and then once they get to that like caliber, then they get compared to someone, and then everything crumbles. What I like about these, like you got Frenchcore, up tempo, like even extra raw. What I really like is you've got these younger guys that are so experimental that they are boosted, like Equal To, man, like from a couple edits, from a couple original tracks on SoundCloud to now collabing with a lot of guys, yourself even. Like there's a lot of like things that I feel the new age should start bringing in, and it's bringing these DJs to light more, because as long as with like you see a lot of recycled lineups, I'm not too sure if that's a thing. Like you get like people complain, especially in Netherlands, always like, oh, it's the same thing, but then they're the same people that complain, oh, this person's too young, this music's stupid, it's not going to catch on.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a good healthy balance, but I think the new age should start coming out, because like I love the dinosaurs, don't get me wrong, but like there's got to be respect both ways, I reckon.
Yeah, and people will always pop through. People will always, they'll cut, and it's interesting to like look at those artists because they have a cut factor, because they can cut through the saturation. Somehow something, dude, it's probably more saturated maybe now, maybe not, I don't know, but it's always been saturated. And so like, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that it is a little more saturated than maybe 10 years ago, just because of the internet and shit, whatever. Maybe there's more DJs, maybe there's not. But regardless, we can all agree that the scene is saturated with a lot of DJs, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. Because that means a lot of people are wanting to do music.
Yeah.
But no matter how saturated it is, there's always guys who pop through.
Yeah.
No matter what. And how do they do that? Like, why can certain people slice right through the thick, you know? And it's like, it's really interesting to look at the people with a cut factor. You know, it's usually something really, really unique.
Yeah.
You know, Dimitri K being a good example. Like you could hear Dimitri K. You could hear the darkcore when he first came out too.
Yeah.
Equal To, you can kind of hear too.
Yeah, the ringing kicks.
Yeah.
Like he's got that certain ring in his kicks that you can really tell it's like the crunk kick.
Yeah. Or they're like a figure. You know what I mean? They have like this
persona.
Big persona that you can't
miss it.
You can't miss it. You know what I mean? And I think that there's, you know, different things and maybe combinations of a little bit of each, you know. And then you get a guy with like all of them, maybe, you know what I mean? Or
so take notes. This is what you.
I feel like you're a mix. You're a great mix of both, because you've been in the scene for so long. Obviously, you've had a change. But your music and your character are on the same level. Like, it's really crazy.
Appreciate that.
Like you get a lot of people, like I know a lot of our friends that are up-tempo DJs and stuff. We listen to their music and I'm like, bro, this is fucking crazy, what the hell? And then you speak to them, they're like, oh, I don't listen to up-tempo, like I listen to R&B, or like, they're very chill, you know, it's very mixed. But I reckon your persona and your music is like very your brand.
But also another thing is like having good music is one thing, right? That's one thing. It's but how do you market that good music? That's the main thing. That's how you make it big. Like just to tap on back to what you were saying about, you gotta level up your brand in order to push that good music. Because you can be the best producer, but if you're just a bedroom dweeb that doesn't know what to do with your life,
then there'd be a fucking million famous people.
Yeah.
You know how many fucking famous DJs there'd be if everybody who was the best producer was the most famous producer?
Exactly.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
You know how many fucking famous people we'd have?
Yeah. But that's coming back to like the finding talent, capturing it, and pushing it in the right direction is a big thing.
Well, I think it's always been a sort of paradox for me that it's counterintuitive, and it goes back to like a gym principle actually. Okay, right? The guys who put diet first, not training, diet first, are the guys who get the biggest or get the most shredded. Both. It works both ways.
Yeah.
The guys who get jacked as fuck and also look sick, not just like fat jacked. I'm talking about like jacked.
Yeah.
Those guys put their diet first, and the guys who get the most shredded and look the freakiest and have the best physiques also put their diet first. Because no matter what, those guys are going to train. Training isn't hard. Those guys love to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Going to the gym is easy. Lifting weights, easy. It's fun. You know what else is easy? Opening the computer and fucking around on Ableton. Dude, I'm programmed to open my computer and make beats. That doesn't change. Most guys love it. They sit down and they're literal fucking, it's not robots, but they're just in flow.
It's just second nature.
It's second nature. Yeah. They're almost programmed to do it, but you know what they're not programmed to do? Social media. And so if you make social media your number one priority, then the chances of your project growing, I think, will be exponentially higher than the guy who doesn't do that, right? Because the guy who makes social media his number one priority, he's still gonna make beats. He's still gonna be trying to push himself to make even better beats. He's still gonna try to advance his technique. And you see it all the time, dude. The best producer is not the most famous producer.
Yeah.
The best guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes there is. I mean, the guys who really rise to the top also are good at producing.
Yeah.
Or at least like have sound that's like quality.
Yeah.
But how many people we know that are just rock star producers with fucking 5,000 followers?
But
4,000 followers.
that's also true with the bigger guys, because like you always hear like even like talk behind the scenes and stuff like that, even on Reddit. Some of the best and most creative producers are they are big, but I'm saying they're not like the top guys. Like for example, I want to use this because I always hear it. Code Black, right? Pioneer of a sound when like New Style came in, all Euphoric and all that stuff. And obviously, like once like a trend or like a period goes over, they're gonna drop off. Obviously, so you have your New Style coming in. You got your like Vertiles, your D-Box and stuff like that, like taking over this new style of sound that's going around now. To this day, I still hear that Code Black is one of the best sound designers like in the world.
Yeah.
And like that's what you get sometimes, like, and it translates to that as well. Like some of these guys that are just the most talented, the most perfect, most precise guys, sometimes aren't the most notable, but that's fine for them because they know they have that in themselves.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if that's like, if that's what you want, then that's cool too. Like, I think I should make that caveat.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't want to be out in the spotlight and be like superstar DJ guy, superstar producer, like playing the big stage DJ guy, like, then yeah, cool. I just think it's an interesting thing to know. And I think that all of the things are very, very important. But if you struggle, and I think this is more like an advice thing to like people, and I've just noticed it over the years, that it's like, if you struggle with the social media, if you struggle with growth and your brand, then that needs to be the priority, Yeah. And because the music is going to happen. I just truly believe that. That I'm going to go to the gym, but am I going to fucking count my macros? No. Maybe sometimes. That's what I'm saying, But when I do, when I finally put diet first, I got peeled.
Yeah.
Peeled, shredded, best physique I've ever had.
Peeled. That's a good one. That's all.
Dick skin, bro.
Yeah, because when you pull your skin,
No.
the stretchier it is, the more like lean you are.
Yeah,
The skin of your dick, brother, all over your body.
Yeah,
Hearing peeled is good. Like I haven't heard because everyone says, "Oh, I'm shredded cars." or something. Peeled is it.
Peeled to the bone, bro.
I'm gonna go back to.
Add it to the vocab.
Yeah, but add it to the vocab.
Easy.
Easy. You said easy.
If you know. Tomorrow I'm gonna come in and like peel.
Yeah.
just for fun.
I'm gonna go to two things on the whole producer thing, and because it's a big thing, especially in America.
We're vaping on the podcast. Right?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
He's coming down to
I heard.
Nokia.
I heard.
Can't wait to meet him, man.
Yosef is the fucking man, and he wants to be better. I know that he wants to be better. And so he came up in that. And he made he did very well for himself. He's a first generation American, I think, too. Mm-hmm. And to do what he's done at his age is just remarkable. It's just such a fucking cool.
How old is he?
He's 22, man.
Wow.
And the kid's done very, very well for himself.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's extremely talented. And he's gotten better and better and better and better. And I see a super bright future for him. Shout out to Dionysus. Shout out to all my American bros. Just, Deadax, Water Spirit. Mutilate all my boys. We gotta shout them out. Equal to Rolls Royce Anyways, I could go down on the list, but
Fuck, you know everyone off by heart. Like,
yeah, well, they're all my friends, you know.
Yeah.
We're all in a group.
Is it a tight knit community?
Yeah, because we all are lifters. We all love lifting, you know.
Yeah.
And so like it was natural that we all kind of linked. But I think that the real thing about Gym Bro Hardstyle is, say what you will about it, people liked it. It wouldn't have streamed as big as it did. And the trend might be a little over now, or it might be kind of on the downward turn.
Some Aussie ruined it, but anyways.
Yeah. That guy's a fucking joke, though. Yes. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's.
Like, he was DMing me some weird shit, and like that guy.
Was he trying to DM you like as a friend, or
he was like, we should do this collab thing, bro? I like sampled Andrew Tate, and I'm like, it's a little appalling that you think a guy like me would like vibe with Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of other people who like you could look up to besides him, who might share some like similar ideas. You know what I mean? But like the dude's a fucking clown, and like I don't fuck with him. He just looks like a fucking douchebag. It's like he's a douchebag. Anyways, I don't want to be a douchebag. So anyways, besides fucking Tate, who gives a fuck about Andrew Tate anyways? He wanted me to like, he was like, I'll just take out the Tate vocals. He was just like pushing me hard. And I was like, dude, fucking relax. And then all the shit came out. And I was like, dude, you're a fucking joke, bro.
Yeah.
You're a fucking chump. And then he doubled down and it made it even worse. You know?
Should I come out and reveal it?
No, okay.
But you're honest.
No.
I'm Adonis, cuz.
No.
We'll speak.
But the point, to bring it back, the point is that people like the music.
Yeah. Look,
and that's what matters. Making music people like is what matters.
The only thing I wish it just wasn't as associated to gym bros and like douchery, in that term, like, because at the end of the day, I love hardstyle overall. Like, I'm gonna put an umbrella over everything, hardcore and hardstyle. Put an umbrella term. I know it's two different things.
I get it.
They are harder styles, harder styles. Let's go with like hard. The thing is, I just want this to be the most famous, the biggest, the craziest music in the world. It hasn't been my goal, me personally, to do it, but I've always wanted to speak to people who are like-minded like me. And this is what I mean with, like Toza was speaking about before, we're so crazy, we're so caught up in everything, and I love sitting and chatting, just because speaking to people like you, everyone's like working on this mission together, just to be like, let's spread this fucking music.
We just want to contribute, you know?
Good, bad, we just want to make this fucking music number one. That's why, like, when I say Tomorrowland, I'm like, it's so cool, there's so many different styles, you know? But for me, it's always like DEFCON, even though there's stages, there's so many, and it's not multi-genre, it's all singular. I'm like, that's still DEFCON, that's still harder styles.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that I wish that's what I wish the gym bro scene was more like. I wish there was a gym bro stage at fucking DEFCON, but I wish there was a point where people could accept it as a music, like as a style and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and I think that Yosef and Caleb, you know, or Dionysus, whatever, they felt the same way, I think, you know?
Yeah.
And what I saw in them, and which is why I brought them on tour with me, was I saw that they were different, you know, and I knew that they knew their shit, you know? And I also knew that those guys could sell some tickets, you know? And I saw that they had some value, you know? And it's like, dude, numbers talk. You know, I'm running a business here. You know, and I do what I can, you know, but like at the end of the day, it's like, dude, we have to like, guys got to put numbers on the board. And if you're not putting numbers on the board, unfortunately, it's going to be very hard to justify, you know, bringing you on tour or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's nothing against anybody. It's just, dude, the promoters are running business. The clubs are running businesses. We're all running businesses. And if there's no money being made, and there's too much risk involved, and there's not enough
backing.
Yeah, you know, if there's not enough metrics. There's got to be metrics to base decisions off of. And if we can't provide the metrics to make these, you know, decisions justifiable, it's going to be hard. We're going to have a hard time.
And that comes back to like
knowing your worth.
And it helped the tour. We had a great tour. It was awesome.
Yeah, knowing your worth is one thing, and also like a really big thing that I really like live by and go by is like you gotta match your your expectations with your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can't expect this much with your efforts,
Yeah.
So you need to match that. So that way, like, you know, I'm putting X amount of efforts, I'm getting Y, that's all I deserve. You can't tell me that you work so fucking hard and get no return. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, we'll use the gym again as an example. If you're eating good, training good, sleeping good, your body has to look good. Like, there's no way.
100%.
Exactly. You can apply the same principle to like DJing and producing and like just having a brand in general. If you're gonna work on your social media, you're gonna work on your music, you have to get good. If it's good, equals good.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
You need that equilibrium.
And if it's not clicking, there's a reason.
There's a reason, and you gotta reevaluate. Like, okay, well, I found the root cause of why I'm not getting big. Okay, well, it's like.
And music industry stuff. It's definitely a harder.
Yeah.
The gym's a little more straightforward.
Yeah, it is.
You know, the music industry and branding and all this stuff has some nuances.
But there's always someone that likes something, right? So you need to either do something that someone already likes, or do something and find someone that will like you.
Yeah. Or cut through. Like, you don't have enough cut.
Yeah.
It's not, your cut factor isn't.
Sharpen your knife.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going through the the layer. You know what I'm saying? You're absolutely fucking right.
Yeah.
100% right.
That's a lot of people like expect. Oh, I'm not getting this. I wish for this. I wish for this. I wish for this. But what are you doing to like reach to this?
Well, and it's dangerous when you start thinking that way. It's really dangerous because you go, well, I deserve this because of some reason. Because I'm better at producing or something, that I should be on that stage instead of that guy.
Yeah.
And then it makes you. It can lead to resentment. It can you can become bitter.
For sure.
You know, and so I deserve what I have.
Yeah.
And I leave it at that.
Yeah.
And I could speculate, sure, that I should have played a better set time, or I should have had this, I should have had that. I deserve this because I have more of that. Blah blah blah. Okay, whatever, maybe. But I just stick with reality. I deserve what I have at this moment, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay there, and I just try to keep working harder, and keep, like we were talking about the car, take another step forward.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. It's all about like, what's your next step?
Yeah.
Also ask yourself, what's my next step?
Yeah.
Okay, I've achieved this, now what's next?
Yeah.
There's always something next. Until you die, pretty much, let's be honest. There's always next steps.
Totally, I'm really serious about this shit, dude. Like next week when I get back, actually on Tuesday, every single year I hold a party, and all me and my friends, we make vision boards. It's a little hokey, it's a little corny, but every year we all come over and we have the different areas of our lives. So if you want to make a vision board, here's how you do it. You get the different areas of life: relationships, career, health,
the pillars.
Leisure.
The pillars, yeah.
Yeah, just the different areas of your life that you have. For me, I have recovery. I have a little recovery section. Relationships, whatever. And so it makes really specific goals, bro. Really specific. You should do this if you haven't ever done this. Like, I'm talking about.
I have, and when I have done it, it's pretty good.
I want to play Black at DEF CON at 6 p.m. on Saturday. That specific.
Yeah.
Like soup, and you print, and so you get a picture of the Black stage at DEF CON, and you print it out, and you write 6 p.m. And I want to have $1 million in my bank account, so you print out your Chase statement or whatever, and you scratch the number out, and you write $1 million. I don't have $1 million, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, you write $1 million, and I want to have this credit score, and so you print out a little credit score, and then I want to go to Hawaii and backflip off this cliff. I want to bench press this amount of weight. And you find a guy doing the bench press. That specific. And I've done it for 5 years straight, dude. And it's fucking crazy. And so I do it every year now. I have a party. We order a shitload of barbecue. Everybody brings their computers over. I buy the poster board, and we make vision boards. And so I'm doing it this Tuesday, actually.
It's pretty hectic.
Way
because
like this, man.
I know you do it yourself.
No, we're doing that way.
And that's what I mean.
I do it on the board, dude.
Yeah,
I usually just write like what I want.
Yeah, we have whiteboards. We have one downstairs as well in the office, and we're just writing shit down. Next, take photo. Next, right down. But we do it at home. But I really think it's cool because I know a lot of people when they do stuff like that, they keep it to themselves. Because either they want to work on that goal, sometimes they're hiding stuff, and it's not like a bad thing, but they just want to work on something themselves. I think it's really cool that you can share it. You can be that intimate with friends and share goals like that. Because like you said, you're talking about goals, like, because your goal could be 1 million, and let's say we're the same group of friends, my goal could be 100, because I'm in that situation. And you guys are so open about it to do it as like a group of friends. That's fucking sick, man.
Well, it's cool because like I've done it so many years that, you know, we always get new people, and so I have like 5 boards, and I'm like, look at this shit, and I show my board from 4 years ago, and it's like, dude, it's like hilarious. I'm like, I hope that I get to. My one from 5 years ago was like, I hope that I fly away once a month to DJ. And now I like can't even stay at home. You know? And it's like, and I'll put like show fees. I'm like, I want to make this amount for a show. And it's like crazy how specific like all of this stuff is. And dude, sometimes I didn't even remember what I had put on my boards.
Yeah.
You know? And then like, dude, I have the exact thing I put on my board, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't even realize that I got that thing from 4 years ago. And it's like, dude, it's very weird. And like, if you do the whiteboard, you gotta do the like piece of poster board, print out all the pictures. You gotta do it. Because everybody I know who's done it with me, they've all achieved it in like weird ways. Like I put this picture of me backflip, or a guy backflipping off this cliff in Hawaii, right? And like, look, I went to Hawaii and I did do a backflip off a cliff, but I also went to Croatia and I did a backflip, and my girlfriend took this picture. Dude, and it's this guy doing this backflip, and it's literally the same fucking picture from my vision board.
Jeez.
Same picture, bro. And it's like, I know that sounds corny.
Nah, man.
It's not, bro.
It sounds even better because it was in Croatia.
Dude, it's Croatian.
Dubrovnik.
Yeah. The thing is, it's funny that you say that because, well, not funny in a funny way, but like, it's crazy that you say that because I've heard a lot of things about, there's an inside joke. Okay. I've heard a lot of things about how powerful writing shit down is, and I've tested it out, and honestly, it works.
Yeah.
But that is next level way of saying like you actually picture everything, like literally
I think
picture in your head.
you're more of a visualizer, like you like seeing the
Me? Yeah, I'm just like really I'm really into gains.
Yeah.
Like I'm just into gains in general. Like get bigger, get stronger, get more fit, get smarter.
Yeah.
Like learn, be better at everything. Cause like be a better chef, be a better, like there's a million ways to make a piece of chicken breast, but there's a lot of really good ways. And you can learn this very quickly on TikTok.
Or your Instagram.
Or my Instagram. And then when you do that, it will make your life better. And I will in turn have more self-esteem. I will have a higher level of self-esteem because I know more stuff, that I've proved to myself time and time again that I'm capable of progress.
Yeah.
And so when I do these little things, you know, like maybe like read a book that might, you know, make me more intelligent or offer a new perspective, or when I learn a new cooking technique, or when I progress in the gym and I can see the result. Well, that gives me the like feeling that, okay, I did these things that required work. So now if I have a long 2-year goal, like I want to start a record label or a business or own a gym or, you know, invest a specific amount of money or play Thunderdome or host my own party, like host my own festival 3 years from now or 2 years from now, or sell at a 3,000 cap room in LA, these really big long-term goals, it gives me the feeling inside me that I have what it takes. Because I've done all these other little things. It was like, okay, it took me a while, but I eventually benched 2 plates. You know, and I could barely bench 25s when I started. You know, now I can fucking rip 2 plates. You know, it's like, okay, I learned how to do that. I learned how to do these hard things. I played DEF CON against a lot of odds, you know? Okay, well, if I did that and I packed out my stage, well, man,
what else can I do?
I might could play Black next year. Maybe I could play Masters. Maybe I could close down Masters.
Fuck yeah.
You know, that's a tall goal, but
still.
Shit, man, if I can remix Lady Gaga, like, if Rick Owens is calling me, like, anything's fucking possible at this point.
For sure.
You know, I'm not surprised anymore.
No, honestly, man, like, it's good to see someone so driven, because, like, I can draw some inspiration from this. I've been going through a bit of a rough patch lately in terms of, like, drive. My drive's all over the place. Like, some things I'm excelling, some things are just like, fuck.
Have you tried putting it in reverse? So before
producer,
where we
I think it's just I gotta just
15, hour 15.
Fuck.
really want to reevaluate a few things and get back on track.
Dude, you're doing so great, man. Like, I gotta give you kudos, man. Like, you're
Appreciate it.
I mean, dude, I remember Freak Show and Heroin. You know what I mean? And to see like how far you come in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
If you continue on that same trajectory, you're going to have a bright. You're gonna have a big career, man.
Shit.
You know.
Shit,
So make a vision board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's taking me up for this guy.
I'm big. Yeah.
It's like
You know what? It's FaceTime.
I will send you. I'll send you pictures of my one. Seriously.
Yeah, sweet.
I'll send you pictures, dude. You know who put me onto this? Do you guys know who Ellis Dream is? Or do you remember Brills? He was a trap DJ. He's like an experimental bass DJ. This guy's huge. He sold out Red Rocks in like 2 days.
Wait, Red Rock, the amphitheater?
Yeah, the amphitheater in Denver.
Fuck.
This guy Ellis Dream. So he's like kind of, me and him are like opposite sort of brand wise. He's like very trippy spiritual bass, like halftime wubby music, like vibes and stuff. You know, he's a close friend of mine. And I've known him for a long time back prior to both of us taking our, directions musically. But we've remained in touch. And he was the one who showed me this. And he goes, dude, you have to do this. Me and my wife, who she like writes for Dua Lipa and like has like tons of like platinum records. Yeah, she like is a big writer in LA for artists. That's what his wife does, and he does his DJ project. He's like, we do it every year.
Fuck, man. I wish you told us the secret after the episode. Now everyone's gonna be successful.
No, I want everybody to learn.
Now, honestly, the more people we get onto this, the better.
Hey man, if you spread it, dude, it comes back to you, man. You know? It's real, bro. It's like
For sure, man. For sure.
Anyways. Okay, I love my girlfriend. Anyways, we're fucking, I don't know how we got to the time already, but I'm going to ask one more question and Toss is going to ask his question.
Okay, cool.
Did you get arrested in Croatia?
No, I did not.
No?
No.
Because did you film that in Dubrovnik when you had your...
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Shit, okay, nice.
They thought, it was funny because it said too fast, people were like slowing down. They thought I was like telling them to slow down.
I'm surprised I read it, honestly.
What are you talking about?
He's got a video when he released his album, and it was in Croatia, and it was just in his undies, and he had a sign that said
Oh, yeah. Oh, was that in Croatia?
Yeah. That's why I was laughing.
My girlfriend was like, are we really going to do this? And I was like, we're really going to fucking do this.
Well, it's summer over there anyway, so everyone's walking around in speedos.
I think they were just like, they saw the cowboy. I think they were just like, look at this idiot American. I was like, that's what I was banking on too. I was like, they're just going to think I'm some dumb American. Yeah. It's going to be great, which like, in this moment, I am that dumb American. But hey, man, anything for engagement.
Honestly, no, you're not dumb, man. Honestly, you're
very switched on.
You're very intelligent, man, bro. Like I said, you're like the American Sam, not the Uncle Sam. You're
hey, man, listen. You gotta take shit real serious. You know, you gotta be real serious. Like this vision board shit. I'm not fucking around when I'm talking about this shit. I'm very serious about it. But I'm also very serious about being a fucking idiot and walking around in my boxers making jokes. You gotta have a balance, man. You can't be above a dick joke. You know.
Every there's an opposite force for everything, right?
Exactly.
The balance.
Yeah.
Equilibrium.
Yin and yang, all that.
Pew pew pew.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, I think we've said enough. This has been a very, very informative and very, very insightful episode. I'm sure all our listeners will really enjoy this because I was very interested. It feels like I was watching it, in my opinion.
Already, man.
That's how good it feels. I don't think I've had a feeling like this before.
That's how that's old.
Yeah, but seriously, honestly, you're all gonna relate. Drop that down in the comments. I'm not waffling.
For me, this is
I'm not waffling either.
Yeah.
Because it's good, like you get a little bit of a sit back.
100%.
That new word is easy. Waffling.
Dropkick.
I feel like waffling is more like UK.
Okay.
But I don't know. I watch a lot of Sidemen and like Beta Squad. I don't know if you.
Waffle. Waffle on.
But anyways, the last segment before we wrap up, and this is my question. So, what is the most uncomfortable situation you've ever been in? Could be music related, non-music related, life related, anything.
Oh man, that's hard. I think dude, getting sober was extremely uncomfortable. You know, I mean, I've had some very nervous moments in my life. There's been some big shows where I've been shaking, dude. But I think the most uncomfortable I've ever felt was going from having my medicine, which was the drugs, and that's what the reality of it was that I had an issue off top, you know, like I had a Sam problem.
Yeah.
You know, and the Sam problem was getting fixed with the drugs.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I realized that I had to take those out, I had to figure out how to like live, you know, without my medicine, without this thing that makes me feel good. And I felt really, really uncomfortable for a really, really long time, you know. But over time, I feel so the opposite of that. In fact, there's a level of like comfort and in myself, you know, and self-confidence, self-worth, all these things that we were talking about a little on the podcast. I feel like me, you know, and so out of that uncomfort, you know, came an even deeper sense of comfort.
Yeah.
So yeah, that.
All right, man. Well, before we wrap up, we also want to congratulate you on the greatest show at Massive that you've done already.
Oh man, it was fantastic. The Aussies are crazy.
Yeah. So
God.
We were there. We had a great time. This guy had his the pants off.
Yeah.
Not underwear.
Yeah.
It's a bit too much.
He had his dick out.
That was so
All right, then
We couldn't see it, but
Yeah.
we were like, oh, there it is. Sorry.
Alright, we're gonna prove it after the podcast. Let's go. Dicks on the tables, boys.
But anyways, thank you very much, Sam.
Yes.
I'm gonna get a bit personal here.
No.
Mr. LIL Texas, we really appreciate you coming on and giving a lot of great insight of how things should be seen. And I really, really appreciate it because a lot of people can draw from that, not just us.
Yeah, a nice little take from the first American and first person out of either Australia or NL. So yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm honored, guys.
Yeah, so thank you. No, we're honoured, man. Thank you for blessing us.
This is cool what you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you, very much. Appreciate it. So, if you like what you're seeing, if you want more artists, the more you watch, the more people are interested in being on here. So, like, share, subscribe, comment, give us 5 stars on Spotify. Tell us who you want to see. We'll do our best to bring them on board. As you can see now, we've pretty much expanded to worldwide. So,
yeah, we're
it's
everywhere.
early too. So now we've been in the Netherlands. Now we have America, and obviously we've got Australia down pat. Maybe soon we'll get Asia. I don't know. We'll see. Can you tell us a bit more about
our sponsors? OutputStrengthSystems.com. If you're not jacked as fuck,
not like me this time,
like Big Texas over here, check out Output Strength System, guys. They're fucking awesome guys there. Beth and Raz, they're awesome guys. They need to help out Toz a little bit more. He's been
sorry, Beth.
But I heard they've been training LIL Tex a bit, so check them out. They should be having a drop very soon. I think by the time this comes out, check them out. Also, Tex, you want to plug anything else? Because I know you have your cooking.
Oh man, no, yeah. Shout out to Massive and Evo for bringing me out here for the Sydney and Melbourne show, and shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Aussie scene in general.
Appreciate it, man. Is there any social media you'd like to plug? Like your
Hey man, I'm out there just at LIL Texas all around. I think at LIL Texas is hardcore.
No.
Yeah, I haven't really been doing it.
They came up on my feed the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Bro, you should get that back up.
I know, I really should. Maybe I'll bring the cooking back.
No, get some followers onto this. I go to his, check his page out. He
I have a page called Chef Texas, but I haven't posted it in a while. But nonetheless, at LIL Texas Hardcore on TikTok, but it's LIL Texas pretty much everywhere else. Right. You will be able to find me. Just Google it. And I will be coming to a city near you. We have a full tour planned next year, worldwide, pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
So nice. I will be coming to a city near you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And hope to see you very soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Well done. Fuck, man.
That was dope, man.
Dude.